Madam Speaker, I rise to bring to a close the debate on the supplementary estimates that is before us today in the amount of $6,757,624.43. Madam Speaker, much has been said about the supplementary estimates by the opposition. And every time we bring a supplementary estimate to the House, they repeat the same things. Madam Speaker, if you look at the Hansard, you will see that every government in our history has brought in supplementary estimates to the House. It is a regular thing. But I get the impression, Madam Speaker, that the opposition is saying to the Parliament and saying to the government that even if something happens during the financial year, even if people come to the government for assistance during the financial year, once it is not budgeted for, we should not help and we should not respond. Because that is in essence what they're saying, Madam Speaker. Because they're accusing government of poor planning, etc., etc. And the usual horse that they want to jump on is the public support program in the office of the Prime Minister. I am not in the business, Madam Speaker, of saying publicly and naming names of anybody who has come before me for assistance. I respect privacy, Madam Speaker. I respect the dignity of every single citizen, irrespective of who you are. But when the leader of the opposition stands in the Parliament and chastises and criticizes and makes all sorts of assertions and innuendos about the public sector program, and he says that, oh, well, education money should go with education, social welfare should go with social welfare. When that very same man, Madam Speaker, that very same man, the leader of the opposition, the member for Salisbury, comes to me now for financial support for his education pursuits. So the rest of Dominica should go to education, but because he's the leader of the opposition, a different rule, a different set of criteria and rules must be set out to him, and therefore he must go directly to the Prime Minister. And they come here and talk about procedures, accountability, transparency, Madam Speaker, good governance, Madam Speaker. And when the officers in the Prime Minister's office, who are charged with the responsibility of going through the requests of members of the public, says to the leader of the opposition, look, sir, there are documents missing in your submission to the Prime Minister, and for us to process it, you need to get these documents to us. He felt that he was too big and above rules. Above rules. So you can imagine, Madam Speaker, if he was a minister of government and he refuses to bring forward the letter from the school and the breakdown of costs, which we always ask students to present from the school, to say exactly that the school is charging the fees that you claim in your request. And Madam Speaker, they speak about the $1.6 million that we have paid out from the public support program. And some of the payments are outstanding back in 2009, 2010, 2011. A simple response to the Madam Speaker is that most of these payments are for medical purposes. And when you receive the invoices from the hospital, you have to spend time and discuss with the hospital overseas, whether it's Martinique or Barbados, to see whether the invoices that they have submitted are correct. And it takes some time. And we came in 2014 and said, look, let us ensure that we pay all the outstanding commitments under the public support program. There's nothing wrong with that. When we came to Parliament, Madam Speaker, and we negotiated with Mr. James, the member of Marigot, for lands the government took from him to the construction of the road, we negotiated and agreed on a price in one financial year and came to Parliament in another financial year in a supplementary estimates to pay him. He never said anything about that. Because it was for him. But when it comes to the people of Dominica, they have a problem with the government helping the people of Dominica. And I want the opposition to tell me, as Prime Minister of this country, that if I get a call at 8:30 on a Friday night, when most people will be drinking and partying, Madam Speaker, I'll get a call at 8:30 in the night. First a text message or a WhatsApp message asking to call. And they said to me, Prime Minister, we have a 2-day-old baby who needs to be thrown out of the country tomorrow, Saturday. And we need $44,000 to get the baby out. What do I do as Prime Minister? What do I do if I have the ability as the Prime Minister of the country to assist those parents? I don't ask the parents whether you voted for me last election. Neither do I ask you, will you vote for me next election? I don't ask those questions. My focus is to help people who come to me for help genuinely. We do not have all the resources to help everybody at the same time. But I believe as the leader of the country, as a representative of the people, as a servant of the people, I have a duty and a responsibility to first listen to people's concerns. Listen to them. I spend time, deliberate time, Madam Speaker, sitting in my office, listening to people. Whether you are the ordinary person walking the streets, you can come and sit to the Prime Minister and express to him your concern. There are people who have concerns. Genuine concerns, Madam Speaker. When somebody comes to me and says, Prime Minister, I have nowhere to sleep tonight because I've been put out and I have 3 children. Last night I was at one person's home, tonight I have to go somewhere else. What do I say to the person? I have 3 children. I find that the opposition has a problem with people showing love and showing care for the citizens of Dominica. And they have a problem with that. They just do not know, as if, Madam Speaker, they themselves never went through any struggles. So they're totally indifferent to the people of Dominica. And I will say tonight, as I've said in the past, Madam Speaker, that program, that public sector program, is in large measure, Madam Speaker, and I give the full credit, as a matter of fact, to the Almighty for creating that program for the people of Dominica. Because I'm not in the business, Madam Speaker, of sending people to all sorts of public offices who want to push them here and push them over there before they can help them. And we have a problem like that in Dominica. And if you, as a leader of the country, are not prepared to direct support to people, and you say that, oh, if you come in, you will end it. You will end it. Because you will end it because you do not understand what is it to help people. But it's interesting that when they want help, they come to the Prime Minister. When they want a scholarship, they come to the Prime Minister. When they want small business support, they come to the Prime Minister. But the rest of the country, the rest of the ordinary folks in Dominica, the people who don't have somebody to call on their behalf, like them, they have a difficulty with it. And that's the change they want in Dominica, Madam Speaker. They want to move from a caring government to a government that doesn't care anything about the people. I would have used an adjective before, Madam Speaker, but I refrain from that. So, this program, public service program, is important to people, Madam Speaker. We have raised questions. The Minister for Employment has raised questions about the $400,000 given to DAPEX. We gave the money to DAPEX to facilitate the purchase of agricultural produce from farmers, This is a direct and tangible commitment and support to our farmers, guaranteeing them a market, guaranteeing them a payment for their produce. All we are saying is, in a periodic fashion, supply us with the names of the farmers who have purchased from, you have purchased from, the type of produce you purchase from them, and the quantity that you have purchased from them. What is wrong with providing that information? But the Workers' Party, Madam Speaker, is not in support of the government asking those questions. You know why? Because the hierarchy of the DAPEX are supporters of the Workers' Party. That's what it is. What is wrong with providing the taxpayers with information to show how their money have been spent? What is wrong with that? And then we come here and say that the government is doing nothing for farmers in Dominica. $400,000 can buy a lot of dashing, Madam Speaker. It can buy a lot of tanya, Madam Speaker. And it can buy a lot of plantain. And you can understand if in 3-4 villages, $400,000 is circulating, Madam Speaker, you understand the impact on those communities. And it's a revolving fund, because when you buy from them and you sell at a higher price out there, Madam Speaker, you gain more, and so more farmers can benefit from it. That's what we're saying. We have given you the money in good faith, and therefore we expect you to account for the monies of the state. Because anybody in the public can ask Dr. McIntyre, the Minister for Trade, a question about the government's $400,000. A question can be asked of us here in Parliament. How would we respond if DAPEX is not prepared to provide us with that particular information, which they knew up front we wanted? And they talk about we have done nothing for farmers. There are people who have been involved in the banana industry who have said publicly and privately that this is the only government that has spent local resources on the banana industry. Under the Workers' Party, Madam Speaker, the only monies that were used were monies from the European Union, of which the European Union directed it must be spent on the banana industry. And we have spent money from the Treasury, from local resources, on banana farmers. It is this Labour Party government, Madam Speaker, that paid off $34 million in farmers' debt. $34 million, Madam Speaker, during our austerity program, paid off $34 million of monies owed by farmers to the Dominica Banana Marketing Corporation. $44 million. We have subsidized the price of fertilizer by as much as 60%. We have given free fertilizer to farmers, free planting material, subsidized planting material, Madam Speaker, 0% interest loan, 50-50 loan arrangement at the Aid Bank, 50% grant and 50% loan. So if a farmer borrowed $50,000, Madam Speaker, $25,000 would be a grant from the government. $25,000. And you're saying that we have not done nothing for the farmers? With the black cigar token, Madam Speaker, it's a challenge because the chemicals you have to use is expensive. It is very expensive. It is very expensive. And that is why we have been asking and soliciting the cooperation of the farmers. Because to fight black cigar token, you need the absolute cooperation of the farmers, Madam Speaker. Because there are still farmers in Dominica who do not want us to come on their farms to treat and to deal with the black cigar token. They don't want us to come on their farms. And with the fertilizer that we receive from Morocco, the government has indicated the bulk of that will go to farmers who have been affected by black cigar token. In the next week or two, the government will announce a special package for farmers who have been affected by black cigar token, and those who will be interested in diversifying, planting new crops while we continue to treat the black cigar token issue in Dominica. We will be making a serious package available to the farmers. All of those things, you have to fetch the money. in a difficult environment, very difficult environment, Madam Speaker. So we have to understand this. Madam Speaker, I sat there, you know, sometimes when I hear this guy speak, I'm asking for the real UWP to stand up. Who is the leader of the Workers' Party? Because tonight, one person says that we're against the CCJ. Tomorrow morning, another person says, I'm in support of it, or the Workers' Party is support of it. So there's UWP, there's Team Dominica, there is Joshua Francis, there is this one, there is that one, Madam Speaker. There are all sorts of people. And I'm hearing the Workers' Party say in the Parliament today, because I have to listen to the parliamentary opposition. They're saying that the school transportation program should not be for the students who are in need of it. Oh, we must give them a test. And if they pass the test, then they will get a ride on the bus. A means test, Madam Speaker. So we must give them a diagnostic test, Madam Speaker, to see whether they can go and ride on the bus, Madam Speaker. That's what we're talking about. I mean, we just get up one morning and something comes to our mind. We don't rethink it. We don't ask somebody for advice, and we just repeat it. And we're talking about that is the government in waiting, Madam Speaker. That is the change you're talking about. The change you're talking about. The change to privatize the hospital. Privatize the hospital. Madam Speaker, a scan in Dominica is 500 EC dollars. How much is that in US dollars? Less than 200 US dollars, Madam Speaker. You go to Miami, Madam Speaker, tonight, and a scan is 3,500 US dollars. The same scan. So we are heavily subsidizing the provision of medical services in Dominica.
You have 2 minutes left.
Heavily subsidizing the services in Dominica, Madam Speaker. That is what this Labour Party government has been doing for the people of Dominica. And with the procurement of the orthopedic equipment, with the procurement of the MRI and a new CT scan, when we came into office, Madam Speaker, if we had one dialysis machine, we had plenty. If we had one, Madam Speaker, we had many. Today, we have about 9 dialysis machines at the hospital, Madam Speaker. 9. And you heard the minister speak here this morning about further plans for the health sector. And of course, not to mention a new hospital coming for the people of Dominica. So when they talk about change, we must compare what we've done under difficult circumstances and to what we're doing now. And you heard about the treasury bills. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about Madam Speaker. They don't want to touch it, Madam Speaker. Something good about Dominica, irrespective of your political or religious persuasion, Madam Speaker, you must applaud the country. Something is good for Dominica. It is good for the image of the country. We, all of us, must celebrate in that achievement. But they're criticizing this or saying, oh, what is this? What is that? But had we gotten 10% or 15%, they will say, well, nobody wants to invest in Dominica, Madam Speaker. And if anybody has to invest, it has to be a huge cost to the treasury of Dominica. That is what we're doing. And we have been, people have trust and confidence in this government because the records will show that we have been managing the affairs of state in a responsible and prudent manner, Madam Speaker, and that shall continue in the next term, the other term, Madam Speaker, and more terms after the next and other term to come, Madam Speaker. So the only change that will come to Dominica, Madam Speaker, is that Lennox Clinton and Thompson Fountain will both have a job in the Parliament as senators in the opposition, Madam Speaker. That's the only change that comes to Dominica. So, Madam Speaker, I want to thank my colleagues. I want to thank my colleagues for the support, because this is a solid, united team, Madam Speaker. A solid, united team of men and women who have been managing the affairs of state under trying and difficult circumstances. But nobody in this country who is honest with himself or herself can say that we have not done our best with the circumstances we have to deal with and the resources that we have access to. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
This concludes the debate on the supplementary estimates.